It happened on a regular day, in the middle of what should have been a normal conversation. A simple comment, casually delivered, yet it landed like a knife stabbing into my chest. "You could have done better." The words reverberated in my mind, each syllable louder than the last. At first, I laughed it off. I ignored it, pretending it didn't matter. But as the hours passed, my true feelings took over, and the weight of it hit me all at once. My chest tightened, and my mind twisted into a storm of anger, confusion, and self-doubt. Why did it hurt so much? This wasn't the first time I'd been criticized, but that didn't matter. This time just felt different. This time, it felt like they weren't criticizing my work. It felt like they were criticizing me, my worth, my effort, my identity, who I was as a person. I replayed their words over and over, until there was nothing left but knives cutting into every insecurity, every failure I'd tried so hard to hide. Was I not good enough? Had all my effort been for nothing? These questions ate me alive, their answers harsh and terrifying. I wanted to ignore it, to push it away, to convince myself it was unjustified, that they didn't get the full picture. But I couldn't lie to my true self. Deep down, a small voice whispered, maybe they were right. Maybe I did fall short. And that realization, no, that possibility, left me open and exposed, like a wound too fresh to touch. It had a lasting impression. In fact, for days, I carried those words like a heavy stone in my chest, replaying them in endless loops. I wanted to ignore them, to label them as unfair or harsh, but I knew, deep down, that wasn't the truth. And in that dark abyss, right at the bottom, I found something. I grabbed the project they had criticized, looking at it with unbiased eyes, not through the lens of pride or anger, but with the curiosity of someone looking to understand. It felt like a betrayal to myself, to my efforts. But as I looked over the details, I heard their words again, softer now, less of an insult and more of a question. Could it have been better? The realization was gradual, like a fog lifting, showing truths I wasn't ready to see. They were right. There were flaws I had ignored, shortcuts I had taken without even noticing. It wasn't an easy truth to accept. My instinct was to pull back, to protect myself from the sting of worthlessness. But as I sat there, acknowledging the flaws in my work, something surprising happened. I saw what was wrong, but now I also saw what could be improved. Their criticism used to be pain, but now it's different. It's a tool, a mirror reflecting both my weaknesses and my potential. It wasn't comfortable. I had to peel back years of defensiveness and ego, exposing the naked core of my insecurities. But in that discomfort, I found an odd sense of peace. It wasn't an attack. Painful, yes, but also invaluable. I found peace in realizing it wasn't about tearing me down. It was about showing me where I could build myself up. Something interesting happened. A conversation that could have been easily ignored surprisingly became a turning point. I was working on a presentation, something I had worked on for weeks, making every word and every slide with focus and care. When I decided to share it with a trusted friend, someone I thought would applaud my efforts, their response caught me off guard. "It's good," they said, "but it feels disconnected, like you're trying too hard to impress instead of just saying what you mean." The words hurt. Not because they were harsh, but because they were honest. Still, a part of me got defensive. Did I not work hard enough? Wasn't the effort visible in every detail? I wanted to defend myself, to explain why they were wrong, but I didn't. I forced myself to stay quiet, to really listen, even though every instinct screamed to fight back. As they spoke, I noticed something unexpected, a genuine desire to help. It wasn't an attack. It never was. It was a gift, wrapped in pain but full of potential. That realization didn't stop the pain, but it made me curious. I went back to my work, this time with their feedback in mind, and they were right. The heart of my message had been buried under layers of unwanted complexity, a need to prove myself rather than simply be myself. It wasn't easy to find a balance, listening without getting defensive. But as I looked at the feedback, I learned to separate the helpful from the harmful, to hear what could make me better without losing sight of what made me, me. And with each try, I became stronger, more sure of who I was and what I could become. I didn't realize how much I had changed until I stood in front of a group of colleagues, presenting a project that, before, would have filled me with fear. Now, instead of losing myself, it felt like a source of strength. Weeks earlier, I had shared my ideas, preparing for the incoming criticism. But this time, I didn't feel the need to defend myself or my work. I willingly asked for their opinions, genuinely curious about what they saw that I couldn't. Their feedback came fast, some sharp, others more gentle, and instead of pulling back, I leaned in. I saw the flaws they pointed out not as failures, but as opportunities to improve and grow. It was an odd feeling, almost exciting, to see how each piece of input shaped the work into something clearer, stronger, and more authentic. By the time I completed the final version, I wasn't looking for approval. I was confident in the process that brought me here. Looking back, I saw that handling criticism wasn't just about improving or being better. It was about letting go of the fear that being wrong made me less. Criticism, I learned, doesn't define who we are. It defines who we can become. And while it still hurts at times, I've seen the bigger picture. That pain is the price for growth, a small price to pay for the person I'm becoming. If there's one thing I'd tell anyone listening, it's this: don't fear the pain. Let it teach you. Let it mold you. The path to becoming better is hard, but it's worth every painful, beautiful step, because every critique is a chance to see the person you can become.